This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Dover Pool.
Well, as we mentioned earlier in the show, tomorrow is the first day of fall, and with that comes a lot of great things. There's the fall foliage and cooler temperatures, but it also brings with it the end of pool season.
Unfortunately, that's just one of the negatives that comes with this time of year. And while it would be nice to just throw a cover over the pool and call it a day, it's actually a lot more work than just that. But if you winterize your pool properly, you'll have a much easier time reopening it come next spring. When it comes to summers, this one was a good one for pool owners. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. And as the temperatures continue to drop, it's time to think about closing up your pool.
Once the kids go back to school, the nights are going to get cooler, the water's going to get cold. You have all kind of after-school weekend activities going on. It's time to, by the end of September, try to have the pool closed up.
Jim Napolitano with Dover Pool says the first step in this process is bringing in a water sample to get tested so that you can get the water stabilized for the winter.
Whether they be on chlorine or salt or Sustain or Bacquacel, every pool would have a different chemical, and we'll go ahead and get them set up with that. So we want to get the pool chemically ready. So when you open it up, you're going to have pretty much a clear pool. What'll happen is, again, if you don't close that pool up, you're not maintaining it right, a lot of people will, I'm just going to let it go until the spring, and then they have a big mess.
From there, Jim says to move on to winterizing the filter.
Depending on the type of filter you have. If you have a cartridge filter, you want to take that filter out. If you have a sand filter, you can either take the sand out or you can open up the drain valve on the bottom. Open the little valves on the pump. If you're going to leave the filter out, you have to make sure all the water is out of the system. It's really important. If you leave it out there, we have a bad winter, it can crack.
Once your filter is taken care of, it's time to cover the pool.
On an above ground pool, we recommend an ice equalizing pillow, which when the water freezes, the ice expands into the pillow rather than to the wall. On your in-ground, you don't need that because you've got a lot of surface around there to take care of that expansion.
Different covers fit different needs. Loop lock covers lock directly into a pool deck, and a more traditional cover has to be weighted down. Whichever you choose, Jim says you want to make sure it's secured and you have a pump to clear any water that may build up on the cover.
On the above ground pools, you need to watch the amount of water that builds up on the cover because it can actually push water out of the pool. We'll have many people call in the spring saying, I think I have a leak in my pool. And then we'll have to explain to them, did you pump the water out off the cover over the winter? No, I didn't. Well, that's what happens. It pushes the water out. And at the same time, it can actually collapse the side of the walls on your pool if you don't keep that water off the cover.
One step Jim says you can skip is emptying any of the water out of the pool.
We carry different items that you can cover your skimmer, or you can use a compensator that goes in the skimmer. You plug up your return. So you really don't have to lower the water level anymore.
If you take all of these steps, Jim says you'll be making your life a whole lot easier when you go to open your pool come next spring. And one thing that will help you make it until that time is a spa.
People still use them in the summertime, but this is the best time to use them now with the stars out. You go out there at night. In the wintertime, if it's snowing, you can be out there. Yeah, this is the nicest time of the year for the spas.
Jim says they even serve a practical purpose.
When you get into a spa, you're going to have the best sleep that night that you've ever had. They're so relaxing, the therapy for arthritis, sore back, sore legs, fibromyalgia. It really can help soothe those pains.
Jim says another reason you don't want to empty your in-ground pool is the weight of the water can actually help prevent the lining from being pushed up should the ground freeze due to cold temperatures. A lot of information.
But a lot of work that will pay off come spring. Don't go anywhere. Delmarva Life will be right back.